Hello again to this productive mommy, and just back to just share a little bit about the last 2 weeks. I missed last week, and I've been kind of struggling with just being down the last few weeks, and I'm kind of worried just about stuff. Really, it seems like not any one thing in particular, but just sort of having this nagging sense like that I'm not doing enough for my kiddos, and that I'm missing something, and so it's been really interesting because I think the Lord's sort of been working on me about really turning them over to Him and letting go of that worry. And so actually today, Pastor Tim spoke about that, about the Lord Almighty, El Shaddai, I think was the name used, and just how God, takes care of everything, right? He's all powerful, and how many times we really do need to, well, not many times, we need to release everything to God. It doesn't work to just release a little bit, this and there, and, but just to say, God, okay, I can't do this myself. I'm turning it over. I'm not going to worry. I'm just, whatever the outcome, you're in control. And so that really spoke to me today, because I think I know I struggle with that, about worry about the kiddos, and am I doing enough? Do they have what they need? And what's interesting too is I got these two books. I got one from the library and one from Success by Six. And so this one is called Parenting Without Fear, Letting Go of Worry and Focusing on What Really Matters. And then this one is called The Overscheduled Child, Avoiding the Hyper-Parenting Trap. And so I'm kind of reading them simultaneously, but they both pretty much seem to say the same thing, which is that we actually do our children and ourselves a disservice by trying to kind of prepare them for the competitive world out there, and try to make sure they have an edge, and try to nurture, is there anything that they seem good at? Let me nurture that right now so they can be really good at it when they're older. And which is really what both the books say is what our culture is telling us, of course, because there are companies who make money off of us as parents of young children, who will pay to help our children do better at this or that or the other, whether it's soccer or music or foreign language, and of course there's just all of this self-help, not self-help, but parenting advice out there that one tells you to do one thing one way and the other advice tells you to do something completely different. Of course, we end up as parents, what these books are both saying, and I kind of feel is, feeling like we're not capable of making decisions for our own kiddos or taking care of our own kiddos. And what was interesting about The Overscheduled Child was how it was saying also, like, as many of us as parents, we are providing the basics for our kiddos, and we're even providing enriching environments just for their everyday lives, yet we don't give ourselves any credit for that. It's just like, that's not enough. You got to do one more thing. You got to do one more thing. And yet we, compared to much of the rest of the world, we are living charmed lives, and we are giving our children an incredible amount of nurturing and care and comfort. And that should be something we can relax about and say, praise the Lord. We have a roof over our heads. We have plenty of food. We can get the things that we need. Our children, we're with our children. We're nurturing them. We're caring for them. This is great. We can give them a foundation, but instead it's like, oh no, that's not enough. You need dance lessons at 3. In fact, someone was telling me, like, Jenny's 3, and they were like, oh, she needs to be in a tumbling class. She needs to be in a dance class. And of course, in my mind, I've been like, I need to put her in dance class. I need to put her in tumbling class. So it's, for me, this is really kind of an eye-opener, and it's really helping me to I feel, give me a new perspective and lift some of the burden of feeling like, oh, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? So I know that it's something that's going to be a continual journey for me as a parent, to just let go and let God, and remember, like these books are saying, and I have heard before, that really downtime for kiddos is a good thing, right? Time to just imagine and play, just sit alone, or whatever the case, it's good. There doesn't need to be, we're going to 3 different activities, 3 days a week or 5 days a week in some cases. And, just, we're sitting in the house, and that's cool. So, and my love for you, my love for my children, my care and my keeping of them is enough for them to become whoever it is that God's going to have them be, right? I don't have to make them into better kids, which is what both the books kind of say, that we are told as parents, build a better kid, turn your child into a super child. And we hear about child prodigies, and that kind of makes me think, well, it's somebody else's child's prodigy. If I start my kid in music lessons now at 3, they'll become 1. But what about the Parenting Without Fear was saying, like, we don't ask ourselves the question is my child happy? Does my child know how to have fun? Is my child kind? Like, these are actually things that matter more than is my child really great at something and better than everybody else at something. And so when I thought about that, I thought, well, my kids are happy and do know how to have fun and are kind. Especially Will is just such a likable person. We were at a picnic with some other families, and I was saying how Will just loves to hang out with the big kids, and one of the other moms said, oh, but your son is such a likable kid. He's just, you just like him, and he's enjoyable to be around. And another mom said, this is at our co-op, and so another mom said, oh yeah, my daughter really enjoyed being in kindergarten with him last year, was disappointed that they're not going to be in the same class this year. And so that was really neat to hear. Like, and I've heard that before, people just say, like, man, Will is just a really cool kid, and loves to connect, and kind, and sharing, and so that's a blessing. But I can easily overlook that with, well, but how is his reading going, right? His reading's not maybe up to everybody else's, which is something that I've thought about, like, oh, I don't know if I've got, if I'm doing enough with him on reading. But it is a blessing to have a child who is really wonderful to be around, and loving and caring, and wants to just connect with other people, and just be like, hey, let's play, let's be friends. And that's a huge blessing. And so I want to cherish those moments, and remember that that's way more important than a kiddo who's really capable, because for life, for him, to grow and to connect with others. And so just it's kind of the important thing for these last couple of weeks for me, is sort of trying to let go of the burden of the worry of what's going on with my kiddos. And I think some of it's with the school year starting, and homeschooling, and trying to navigate that, and just, it's all on me because I'm homeschooling, so I don't get to blame the school if something's wrong, and just feeling this weight of, like, oh no, am I doing enough, or is what I've done even good enough? Just really feeling weighed down these last few weeks, and just really down. Honestly, I've just been feeling down. And so I think it was Thursday, a friend of mine watched the kids for me, so a couple days ago, and I started journaling, and all this stuff came out, just with worry and thoughts about my own childhood, and kind of thinking through some of how that affects me today. And the Lord just really blessed me to just pour all of this stuff out on paper, and I just felt this lifting of the weight that I've been feeling the last few weeks, and just really felt better going into the Friday and the weekend. And so I just praise the Lord for that, because I definitely feel better today. And I know it's going to be a continual walk with the Lord, and having faith and turning these things over to Him. And so I guess that's kind of what I wanted to share, is just that my own struggle with worry and concern, and letting go, but how God is just so faithful and loving, and the Bible tells us that He says, turn your burden over to me, take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light, and I will give you rest. And how that really, when you actually do it, right, when you don't just keep holding on, it's all true. And praise the Lord for that. Praise the Lord that the Bible is true, and that we can rest in the Lord, and be renewed and refreshed, and know that God is El Shaddai. He is almighty and all powerful, and He's always at work, even when it doesn't feel like He's at work. So love to hear about your experiences with dealing with worry and concern about how your children are doing, or what you're doing, and if you're doing enough. So please share, and thanks. This is Productive Mommy. Hope you like and follow and subscribe and all that stuff. So hope to talk to you in another week. Thanks.